Hey everyone, in this video I'll be ranking the top 5 best fire type pals in Palworld's 1.0 update, which introduced a lot of new fire types, which actually adds in some new, really powerful ones to the game. I'll also be breaking down some honorable mentions here, like Dupin, for example, my favorite pal in the game, not a top 5 strongest. However, Dupin is really cool in the effects that it gives the player. When you go below 50% health, you get a 50% attack boost, and Dupin will create an explosion around the player which deals 200 fire damage power, as well as it applies the burn buildup. And if you haven't used a Dupin yet, I highly recommend it because they have some really cool attack animations, like the Trickster show here, pulling out a hat. Yeah, a really cool new pal that's been added to the game. We also have some other ones here, like Flaracle here. Whenever you attack someone that's burnt, you're going to make them explode, dealing 60% of the damage in an area of effect. They can also apply burn, but there's another pal that's been introduced here that actually does a really good job of that. We also have honorable mentions like Magic's here, Dark Fire type, which when you attack someone with burn, you're going to create a flame around itself and it'll deal damage equal to 30% of the player's attack damage, which is pretty nice because you can just have this set up at all times. I also want to mention Lumen here, which you may not have thought of as a fire type, but it is. It does have a special lantern enchantment here, which is really cool, that makes your arrows explode on contact, dealing additional damage equal to 30% of the player's attack damage. What's nice about that is, let's say you got a boost from another pal here, like let's say the Armantide, which increases the damage by 65%. That is actually an extra effect that's going to take those bonuses, so it is a really powerful pal effect. But we also have some really useful ones that like bases. For example, Reptyro, which will reduce their weight of all types of ore by 60%. That is actually quite massive because it encompasses a lot of different items in the game. We also have pals like Falorus here, who are great because they make ice pals drop more items, and there's a lot of really good drops you can farm with this. And they're also really good at transporting and kindling at like the mid-late game. Or pals like Gobfin Ignis, who gives the player a 20% attack boost. And what's cool about this is you can use this with Solen and the regular Gobfin to get a 120% attack boost for the player. I'm also a huge fan of Chilled Ignis. This turns your attack types into fire and increases the attack by 20%, which is incredible if you pair with Needle Knocked, which will apply Ivy covered on your weapon, which makes targets take twice the fire damage. So this is actually good on any fire build, as well as Needle, which will increase the damage dealt against targets with Ivy covered by 65%. So massive buff from these two here can benefit any of the real fire types in this game, but mostly the ones that change your types. So the three best in my opinion that change your attack types: Wixen, which gives you a 50% attack boost, change it to fire; Ragnahawk, which is pretty quick and gives a 20% boost; Chilled Ignis, which is the second fastest swimmer in the game, will give a 20% boost as well. I also want to mention honorable mention here, Incineram, who's great at working at your base with kindling, handiwork, transporting, and mining. Also a pretty powerful pal with fire and dark typing. Petalia Ignis, a grass and fire type, a cool combination, but with this it has a healing effect which gives your health back by 90%, which is amazing. You also take less grass damage and are immune to Ivy covered, making this a really good support style pal. We also have for drops Blaze Howl and Blaze Howl Knocked, in particular Blaze Howl Knocked being really good because there's a lot of neutral type pals that you can farm in the end game. And the last honorable mention I'll mention here is Muldron, who is a fire and ground type, which increases its attack by 8% for every other fire and ground type in your party, and has a pretty respectable 3,800. And this is with the following passives here. So I have Demon God, Musclehead, Serenity, and Immortality. It's giving a 30%, 15, and 10% attack increase. I find this to be the best combination for survivability and just getting your skills back. And that is the passive stats I'll be using for all of these to make comparisons a lot easier. But fifth place, our fifth best pal, Renjishi. This is a new one added in 1.0, and it has a very powerful ability which will make your attacks inflict burn 6. Now, there are a lot of pals in this game that actually, I mentioned a number of them earlier, that impact when you apply a burn. Burn does damage over time, and a little heads up on that, if you have the Mercy Ring or any of the equivalents, it will override that, so it can take out pals if you're trying to catch them. So just be careful if you have him in your party. Now, he unfortunately does not have any unique skills. Maybe they'll add one in the future, because I know he is intended to be more of like a popular, powerful pal, but he's also amazing at base, having an 8 kindling skill at base, and max condense goes up to 10, handiwork at 6, transporting at 5, and gathering at 5 as well. So really great base pal. It also looks really cool. I really like this design with the long fiery hair there. It's a strong partner. Yeah, it is a great one, but the biggest benefit is to make your attacks give burn buildup, so you can apply that for other pals to get their benefits from. So while it is a very strong pal, a great pal at your base, it is not the best in the game just because we do have so many really good pals, and it's a single fire type pal here as well. And what's funny is our 4th place best pal actually benefits a lot from our 5th place Renjishi here with Yormantide Ignis. Now, this is great because it's going to increase the damage to enemies afflicted by burn by 65%. So if you're doing a burn style build, this is a non-negotiable. You want to have it on your party. It also has a really fun skill with the Magma Serpent. This is an exclusive skill for Yormantide Ignis, which lets you rush forward, similar to Yormantide's skill. It has a very respectable 4637 attack here with the following stats. And if you look at your Renjishi, theirs was 3670. So a big boost overall to its overall damage. It is also dragon type, making it good against dark, which are very common in this game. But another feature Yormantide Ignis is the ability to just jump into lava, as it gives you immunity to the lava's effects. So if you ever want to hop down into a pool of lava, now you can with Yormantide. Don't fully recommend that, but it is a nice feature. And Yormantide's Magma Serpent attack looks like this. It's going to rush forward. Again, similar to how Yormantide regular works, having a little fiery effect there. It is a really good pal, honestly. And it has one of the highest attack stats for a fire type pal in the game, which just makes it a really good one too. And in 3rd place, we have a similar but different pal here with Gangler Ignis. Now, Gangler Ignis is really good because of its dual typing with fire and water. So it is good against fire types, obviously, but it also good against ice and grass types, making its coverage insane. There's a reason there's no Pokemon that really have this type inside of one legendary. This is also coming with its own exclusive skill, Scorching Lantern Sweep here, which launches forwards, and it has a really cool animation to it. So I'll show you what that looks like here. It is also a really fast pal to have while you're swimming. You just saw that attack there. It's got a huge range to it. While this isn't the fastest pal, we do have like Chillid Ignis, which is faster, as well as Neptilius, who's obviously the fastest swimmer. It can make for a really good pal, especially if you're going on like farming or anything, just due to how strong Gangler Ignis is as well. I just love this attack here with that big whipping fire attack with that huge radius to it. So it does have a special ability here where it increases movement speed for every other fire or water type in your party, not including it. So that's how you get its speed to go up to the max. But where this pal really shines is it's a really good base pal because it covers not only kindling but watering. So this allows you to just put one pal in that'll cover both of these here, and it has a transporting skill as well too. So when it's not using kindling or watering, it can carry your items around, which is just incredible. So overall, it is just really useful because if you look at something like Yormantide here, he's a kindling skill. It's all he's got. He's kind of useless and he's large and clunky in your base. Whereas we got little tiny fish boy here who's got a good kindling skill, more than enough, and watering and transporting. So he edges him out in terms of the overall abilities at the base. But if we look at these two here and compare them, so you can see they have the same attack stat, but Gangler Ignis has a higher defense stat, and I prefer their attack a bit more. So that's why I put them above them. Although Yormantide does have the better team, if you're doing a burn style team, the only thing I do want to quickly mention again is that if you're doing a fire theme team, it's probably best to go around and have Needle Knock so you can apply Ivy Cover to get double fire damage. So burn, oddly enough, isn't even the best setup when we're looking at a fire theme team. It is better to go with Ivy Covered and get that double benefit from it. So just a slight bit different. These are two very powerful pals. Now, the top two best fire type pals in this game is challenging because we have two very strong ones that you can make an argument for that's been added with the 1.0 update. With Eidrelon Ignis here, I'm going to put him in second. I do prefer this, and this is my favorite fire type pal. However, there's a reason for why I have number one and number one. Eidrelon Ignis has a very special ability where it's going to get increases to its attack and movement speed by 6% for every other dragon or fire type in your party. The nice thing is, dragon type parties are really easy to build around. This is because dragon types are among the best in the game. It's also a flying mount, and it's one of the fastest in the game. Jet Dragon edges out slightly. However, this has a lot more stamina, so you can fly for longer, and unlike Jet Dragon, you can use your own weapons. So that is obviously a massive benefit because Jet Dragon's rockets, cool and all, it's just not as good as our beam scatter and many other weapons here. So that is a huge buff over obviously Jet Dragon, as you can just come in and use whatever types of weapons you want. But it also has some really good moves. Blazing Beam here is available on regular Eidrelon as well. Very powerful Kamehameha style attack, which just destroys everyone in its wake. It also has its own exclusive skills here too. So not only just the Blazing Beam, which is its dragon type burn afflicting attack, it also has Tail Slash, which is a quick attack that comes out fast and hits in a pretty large area of effect. You also have some other fire type attacks as well. It's get Meteor Rain, a lot of great things, but it's mostly the crazy high attack value, its benefit of being able to fly around and fly around really quickly, This is without any movement speed buffs, but if you have a movement speed buff or 4 of them on your pal and a full team of dragons and fire types, it moves really fast. It's mostly that stamina that really shines because it is a lot higher than Jet Dragon. Xenolord is also a really good choice as well, but yeah, this thing is really strong, great access to really strong moves, and on top of all that, fire types and dragon types just gives you really great coverage. So yeah, I would say that this is the second best. I love Eidolon, and I'd like to put it in first place, but this behemoth exists. Noclum Ignis. Now, what makes Noclum so insane, similar to regular Noclum, is that it has the Iron Guardian mode, and their form is actually better. This will increase its attack by 210 and defense by 210 for a limited time. So we're looking at a 41k, lower than Eidolon. However, it goes up there. It also has its own unique skill, the Flame Cutter here, which is a pretty powerful one. So even against type matchups that it's not good against, like Aurelion and Sholong, which is obviously a water type here, whenever you make it go Red Hulk mode with the Iron Guardian there, you can actually do some insane damage because it's getting that 200% increase to its overall attack. Now, obviously, this is not the best matchup here. We're going against a water type, and I didn't put any of the crazy skills that can delete this boss on him, but yeah, it just is so tanky. It's not taking any damage there. I have my big head in the way, but he is not getting hurt at all by any of this. So this skill lasts for a very long time, and you can see he's with immortality and this skill, he'll heal back any damage that he's taken. So I purposely went against a fight that he just does not perform well in, and he is performing well in it. The Iron Guardian mode does have a cooldown of about 45 seconds there, but that's not a huge worry just because, yeah, it's going to be tanking everything. Even swimming through the water there and dealing out a ton of damage. So yeah, it's got a great move selection as well. It's able to learn a lot of different things, and he can eventually take down bosses. Essentially, he's really good against everything else other than a type matchup he doesn't match well with. But you can put lightning attacks on him, and he just shreds with that as well because of that attack boost. But yeah, once you activate that Iron Guardian mode, 8,000 attack, and that counts if you use any other type of move. So again, put on Thunder Rain, Thunderstorm on him, and he's an absolute beast. It is also a really good pal for kindling, mining, and transporting, so he does everything. He's a very powerful pal, and I would or she, I should say, I would say this is definitely the best pal in the game. It edges out Eidolon just because of its insane buff here to its attacks from its Iron Guardian mode, and that's really where this thing shines. So let me know your favorite pals in Palworld's 1.0 update. Again, I'm a huge fan of Dupe, and I think that that is my favorite pal, the coolest animations in the game, and while Dupin is not the meta, just look at these animations, and that's all you need to see. It is cute, and that's what matters in this game. So let me know your favorite fire type in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed this video. Let me know which type you'd like to see me cover next, and we'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye!